it's an interesting time right now with all the sort of pandemonium caused by ChatGPT and the people who are panicking around AI and jobs and their jobs and everyone else's jobs. And there's a lot of research around all of that stuff, and there's a lot of panic. But I don't think people need to panic necessarily. Do you agree, or do you think that there is a need to worry about it?
The lines are a little bit blurred, Nathaniel. I think because of so much dystopian types of background that people have with regard a misunderstanding with regard to these to AI and the sets of AI, and especially if we talk about ChatGPT. So with jobs, that what you can imagine is new jobs will be created, new kinds of careers will be made. But let's be very clear. The thing of it is that when you're creating these types of technologies, you have to create with an intent in mind. In my opinion, this is my opinion. What are you doing? What are you trying to? What's the problem you're trying to solve here? And where does the human fit in all of the loop in the expressions, right? So one of the fears that people have, is remember I come also from contextually from ethics background, is will you lose the ability to think and to debate? So, for example, universities are very concerned. I see this in terms of the students being able to take text from ChatGPT and then be able to copy it in, etc. And so those are that's the thing is, will you be able to think, and will you be able to debate cogently, right? So that's one area to be cognizant of. And I think it's also about more that I think the other component of it is that to be able to keep in mind, what are the broad implications to our society as a whole. And I think in those terms, for me, these technologies have to, especially with AI, have to have an intent. And which organizations are actually kind of trying to benefit from them, right? Are they typical companies? As we see, I'm not going to mention these companies. And if so, does that create kind of another debate, right? About which companies or even nation states want to own or be able to have leadership in this space. And you can see that certain nation states are absolutely looking in this area and have put it in their strategy plan. So I know it's a big broad answer. So is there a concern? Is there a need to be concerned? I think it's a need to be aware is more important. It's the awareness here. It's to be able to pose questions when somebody is looking at, looking at the implications of these technologies for me. So an example could be what you're seeing is could be an intersection to education and AI. So you can have the study of computer science and perhaps law. So you create new kinds of disciplines. AI lawyers. I know a group of AI lawyers who actually are in this space and where I live. Metaverse is another topic. It's not directly related to what we're discussing today, but you can imagine metaverse lawyers and metaverse law. So, and then you have robotics, and then you kind of paint the pictures further and further out. People say robots are going to take our job. Well, robots are taking repetitive. Why do you need repetitive jobs, right? Repetitiveness, not repetitiveness. It's an area where it sort of unleashes you to do other things, right? But on the condition that you're able to switch to those new things and be allowed to do that. That's the fear. Am I allowed to do this? I do this so well. Am I allowed to do this without being thrown out the door from a company or an organization? And so I think that's what we have to think about. And when you're thinking of generative AI, particularly in the form of ChatGPT as an example, you have to think about, well, what is it learning? Where can I get it wrong? Where it can have this kind of a feedback that, well, it seems to sound nice. It seems that, wow, this is really good stuff. But then you have to look at where can it go wrong? It can go wrong in terms of areas of think about elections that are forthcoming. I could actually take a picture of you, and this is happening already, and using sensitive AI, and actually have misinformation about you, and you have no
Right.
recourse. Who owns that? Well, you have no recourse. What does the digital justice button look like? There is none, right? So the genie is out of the hat. To some extent, we have to embrace facets of it with an understanding that we have to know what the implications are to us and the implications to society, and there, what does ethics look like in the space of wider